Macca's. Right now, you can pick up our classic large fries for just $1.
I fixed a face. So just while we were starting that last game, I think we all agreed that the face was the wrong shade of like any discernible color relating to Ovley's actual face.
Yeah.
So I think I've done a good job.
Do you want your white?
We're certainly
Yeah, I do.
closer, and
Well,
what
not
I've
yet,
managed
not
to
yet.
capture is the shade that is across her face. Is now actually part of the picture. So it was all intentional.
Did you also fix like shoulder width? Oh wait, no,
No,
that
no,
camera shot, the other one we were just on,
Yep.
the angle makes it look much
Belies
better.
the width of the... It does.
Right?
Maybe this could be one of those arts that
Oh,
you can
you
only
just-
observe from one angle.
Yeah, you're just next level.
I'm now going to attempt the hair. Jake, can you show the people what you've done?
No, go away.
Okay.
I can.
Look at it. It's amazing.
I've finished.
This
I
is-
did some work during the game because
Bryce
me
is
and-
trying to steal my thunder, Nick, by the way. You tried to handball it, and then Bryce has just jumped in there.
Yep.
You said
No,
you
it's
said
fine.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
You'll
no.
look if you're not going to catch it, I will. No, but yeah, I think I put bloody work into this one. I've been sitting here instead of watching League of Legends, painting away, and I'm basically done. Rusty has big shoes to fill, if I do say so myself.
Do I?
Yeah.
You know
That
what it
is-
looks like? It looks like a portrait, half a portrait of Julia Gillard hanging in like the National Gallery. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing right now. But I think that there's an impressive level of detail there. And I will say the jacket, next level.
Yeah, no, and I took some creative license, obviously, if I can grab the picture with the background, because I was like, there's no way that we're doing this. So like this, we cropped the picture. We don't have a full arm, we've kind of just gone to here. I think my last remaining touch is an RNG little pin, and then I'm gonna add State Farm, and that's gonna be my half complete. And then Rusty's got a lot of work to do on the other
Yeah,
side.
I have the tattoo as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm meant to do that.
Yeah, so I mean, good luck with that one. I'm gonna. Where's the white, Jake? Where
Oh my god, Nick, that's amazing.
Where
Can
you
we just
tucked it?
leave it at that half of the hair?
Are you impressed?
We're at a
kinda-
rock concert.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a choice.
What? I don't understand why every time I do anything to my artwork, people are like, oh,
I like it.
They have physical reactions. I do actually. It's terrible. My issue is how to capture the individual strands. Because, I mean, we all know that that's what human hair, when you're not making like a BioWare game, that's what human hair looks like.
Nick, you know what you need?
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, what's that?
You need the Frosty Peaks. The Frosty Peaks adds
How's that?
texture.
That's true. It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Atlas is jacked.
He is actually quite
He's
jacked.
pretty big.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's bloody.
This is the one bit that I mucked up.
Which bit?
Here.
Oh, right. Yeah.
proportion.
Everything else I'm pretty happy with.
All right, we've done that. What was my last remaining touch? Oh, RNG. All right, writing RNG.
Okay,
We've also had to go for a cheeky run to the shops, I think, to get more white because I may have used all of it.
Absolutely. Well, I think I was responsible for a lot of that because I kept trying to like lighten
Your skin tone.
and it just was. And
I
they
can't believe
basically
you
used, like,
also
3/4 of the
used
thing.
a whole thing and then tried to start jacking my paint supplies.
Look, you weren't here to defend it, so finders keepers. Am I gonna try ruin my jacket? I am. Where is the pin? It's at like the crest of the red bit,
I
right
think you'll
there.
find that's called the lapel.
The lapel, yeah.
Yeah, the crest of the red bit.
So far I've done lots of That's cool. Yeah.
Yours actually isn't that bad apart from the skin tone. If your skin tone it was actually
Alright.
proper skin tone, you would be fine. Like if your skin tone looked like my skin tone, you would be fine.
All right. Okay, somebody in Twitch chat, can we get this camera angle over here? Send this to Frost Urine. There we go.
Yeah.
We got some freeze frames.
Yeah.
And that's me done.
You know that's getting sent as a GIF, not a
Oh,
freeze
good. I don't know, but that is my artwork complete. Rust Dog, you're
We
bloody
swap
up.
All
If
right.
I can be muted, I will leave the stage.
I'm so excited to see. This is the most interesting part of the night for me because I am thrilled to see what Rusty chooses to do here. Because there's like a bar that's been set. There's a style that has been set.
Yeah, how does Zach step over that? I don't know.
You just kind of, it's all just kind of twisted together. Are you doing a background, Jay? Oh yeah, it's just kind of dark, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just kind of dark.
Now, are you going to attempt the blue that was reflected up on his skin tone, like that we definitely know is there? Dark Dylan said, "Why did he only do half? Because Rusty is now taking over. Because Rusty will be casting. Bryce will be casting the next 2 games. So Rusty is now on the couch, and so he's going to do the other half.
Yay or nay?
Well, nay. I mean, you and I are living that bold color life, so I feel like it's fine. This was a white shirt to begin with.
This has pockets and that can be a real painting.
That's his pocket squared up. That looks like a pocket square. I'm happy with that.
Titanium white in your pocket, Bryce.
Okay, so I need to finish the background, and then that means that I'm only going to have one segment left to do all of the face, which is like the glasses, the nose, the mouth, the chin, all the human
I don't know how I'm
face.
meant to like do a second half of a painting. I'm so overwhelmed.
Where are you going to start? Like, are you going to do your own penciled outline?
Yeah, I think I should.
Oh,
I wish I had like a line that I could.
Can we go back to my painting, producers? Oh, I'm happy so far. The problem is I'm too quick and too good.
Well, you still have a lot of background to go.
The background's just black, Nick.
And you're still going to have to fix what I do to it.
If you touch this, I'm going to be very upset.
I feel like if I touched it, that would actually be the end of what we have.
It would be.
Which at the moment is precarious enough. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do about the background, because
Do you know what's funny about the word precarious, by the way?
I think it's grey. I think I need to put grey, because I can't recreate that. I
pay
stupidly did
attention
that
to
and
me.
ran out of paint, so now I can't recreate that colour.
Nick, pay attention.
What do you want?
So I could never say precarious
Yep.
on cast, and Atlas used to always make fun of me.
Who's
Right.
the coach of Gravitas, Spawn?
Vicarious.
And so,
Can pass the test.
And so, how did you
I said pecurious once, I think,
Yeah.
and he was not a fan of that, and therefore went in. So
But so, how did you Did you just sit down and say it 40 times in front of a mirror?
yeah, I think so. I don't know. I can't really remember. I think I just fluked it then, and now we're never going to speak of it again.
So,
Got to match your face shape, and this is interesting, Bryce. Trying to match your face shape as a half. I don't like it.
I think you should just ignore Bryce's and do your own.
Just cover it up.
Yeah.
Are you gonna attempt to use the same colors?
Well, see, that's where I feel like I have to be a sunburnt Ellen DeGeneres still,
Yep.
Absolutely.
and like, yeah,
No.
because I think he's done
It's
all
the
the
frost
other.
we know and love.
The other colors are good, you know, like
No, then.
Yeah. The skin tone.
jacket's good. I
The
like
skin tone
jacket.
is a roughie.
Yeah,
Big rough.
very much so.
Yeah. You got to get the shading accurate as well. Well, see, no, okay. The problem that I left you with is that I just built all my colors on top of colors, so none of the
Sunburn
colors I
DeGeneres.
used are left. Because they've just
Wait,
they've-
you've used all the colors.
No. I made a color and then I like lightened it to do a bit of shading and then
Yeah.
I darkened it to do so like you don't have base color anymore.
Oh, you've cooked it, literally.
Yeah.
All right, the tweet's out.
Okay. So
Great job.
Oh, that's too much.
this is the last bit of white I promise I'm going to use. Oh no, because I need to do her glasses. But this is all the white we have left. If we run out of this, then we need to turn to either wall paint or liquid paper, and just tons and tons of liquid paper. That was the other option that was given to me when I said that we were running low on white.
I can't believe how much paint you guys have used.
Well, there's like a lot that we've screwed up. I've done basically 3 layers of skin. I've done the dermis and the epidermis. So mine has been a commitment to realism. Now, lips. I'm definitely going to get this wrong because these are like I mean, I guess her lips are kind of pink. They're like a different shade to the skin. We'll just see what happens.
Lips are hard, I've just found.
I don't really know where to start. Okay. I'll just do like a Joker smile and just fill it in.
See, I'm trying very hard to make this look good, and then I just hear from your side of the room, I'm just going to make her look like the Joker.
It's the most, I would argue, the Joker smile is the most iconic lips in history. So, if anything, she should be...
Don't you dare say honoured.
Privileged.
Privileged.
Thank you. Privilege was
She
the
shares
word
the
that-
privilege of some reminiscence to such iconic characters.
How do we feel about this?
I love that the angle is just still happening.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to look at it on anything other than that, because the normal shoulders, terrifying football linebacker. Normal shoulders, there you go.
Wait, oh, you're fixing the shoulders. Okay, yeah, the little bit of...
Well, see, there is going to be a proud American flag coming down here, as there is in the photo. So I can kind of just widen that out a bit.
Lips are hard. I've
Lips are
decided
hard, man. Oh, come on. Mine are better than that.
Are they?
Yeah. Mine have character.
But the thing is now I'm going to go back to my old school technique.
I've
which
learned,
is-
Bryce, drawing like with a pencil where you've painted is so hard because I can't like rest
Yeah.
on the canvas, and so
You're,
it's, like
you're wishing you were left-handed right now.
very much so.
Now,
Very
how
much
do
so.
I do a nose? Because I'm fairly certain I've always left the nose in our paintings up to someone else. Because
Like
noses... Yeah. Because noses are actually more like tone differences than...
Can we go back to mine again quickly,
Colour.
producers? I just want to... I'm happy. It's not the worst.
You're just gloating now. I'm going to put a tiny hint of pink into the nose color, and we'll see what happens. Just to differentiate it a little bit. All right, it doesn't look any different at all. Oh no! Hang on, something's happening here. Something is happening. You can't really notice it, but can you notice a nose in real life anyway? Rusty?
I've never seen a nose in real life ever, actually. Thank you for asking.
I'm gonna add a touch of brown. That is the nostrils. 1, 2.
The most impressive thing of the day, I think, is Jake's technique.
Yeah.
Because he's been like using fingers to blend. He's been using like sponges to make the beard, and like he's really gone. He was definitely Googling before.
Yeah.
We'll just have to put that one out there. But like, there's texture to Jake's painting, which I don't think the long shot of the camera angle has shown as of yet. Maybe at the end when we can hold it up, but that was, yeah, I'm impressed. That's work.
I would agree with that.
That's work.
Okay, lips done. Mine's becoming more and more interpretive as I go further and further on. It's time for the glasses.
Oh, glasses are hard.
So yeah,
Layer on, like it has to be a layer.
it has to be a layer, and it's actually the glasses are again sickeningly patriotic, and it's the American flag. So there's a lot of detail in a very small amount of space.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm actually just going more, like you say, I'm going more interpretive, and then I just feel like as this goes on, I'm going more and more like these are just shapes on a board,
Yeah.
and it's kind of falling apart in front of me.
Stop touching it then. Just do the background. Because he's beginning to look like he's got that face paint on that football players have to reflect the sun. Okay.
So you think that
Did
the,
I match your shape okay? Because I feel like I've matched it.
I got to do his hands as
You
well.
can't see.
the
they
nostrils
you can
look like
see.
eyes from here?
These ones.
I don't think that's
Look.
Like that could be the face right now.
It could be that could be the face right now. I should just put the
Alright, I have no
glasses
idea how you do
around the nostrils.
I
That's
think
terrible.
Zach,
Yes.
in order to not make Froskuren have a huge mouth and a huge nose, like we don't do the direct symmetry up the middle of the. You know what I mean? Like you do like a little extra nose, because I'm looking at it now and it's like I've done.
You've done a
big-
whole lot of nose.
Yeah, I've done like big features, and if you just replicate, then you know what I mean?
Yeah, you might have that problem. You know when you open the book and like it's across 2 pages,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
yeah.
picture's across
It's
2
like
pages.
sitting on like.
yeah,
the
yeah,
step.
right. So you might have just like a weird like heart-shaped head or something.
Yeah. So you got some work to do.
All right. Well,
Thanks.
we're going to keep cracking on with the work, and when you come back, we're going to have some very close to completed paintings. But in the meantime, please enjoy Game 3 and the Macca's Champ Select.
Thank you, Nick Boy, and hello, Ejim.
Hello.
How's it going? I feel like that's pretty good. I think everyone was bashing on you quite hard at the start
Yeah.
with the line work.
Yeah.
But there was this pretty sick recovery as time went on.
Like, yes, I spent that entire game just painting away. And also, you just slap on a bunch of colors and then you work with it. It's about the process. You know, there's a little bit of evolution there.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's a happy little
You
accident,
start
right?
with the lobster.
There's no such thing as a mistake.
And you end with a recognizable frost urine, if I do say so myself.
Exactly.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
I've watched enough Bob Ross to know that. What is Rusty trying to?
That wasn't me. He's trying to get the utensils. He's trying to get some help, but he's gonna leave
Anyway,
him on his own.
we're getting into the Macca's Champions Select with Gravitas and Avant. Now, Avant on a bit of a tear recently, 5-2 currently on the leaderboard, and Gravitas are currently at 2-5. As we take a look at the bands, Sona and Karma are going to be starting us off.
Yeah, we got the mirrored score lines here coming into this game. As you mentioned, Gravitas, fortunate loss yesterday versus Order, and AV also coming off that loss to the Chiefs. So looking to bounce back here, second day of week number 4. Bunch of fairly standard bands so far, nothing too fancy coming out of these guys.
Yeah, Aatrox band, Nico band from Gravitas, going to be Sejuani from Avant Gaming right here as well, and we'll see what their final ban is coming through, but yeah, nothing too spicy to start us off.
Yeah, Sejuani Wedside ban does mean that the priority of the Bruisers, of course, goes down. You kind of expect what will happen. So Gravitas definitely do have some first pick options, I think, left alone. A couple of the supports, you know, Yuumi is one and Decoy. Of course. As I say, it is going to lock that in immediately. That was pretty quick, so Gravitas have a plan and obviously sticking to it in this game. Really
just seeing, you know, meta and power picks coming through in the bans and the picks to start us off. Yuumi, Lux, Olaf from Avant coming out here as well. I mean, Shock did bring out the Zillion the other day, and we also saw Gunkrab on Ziggs, I believe. And we've seen some specific targeted bans at some of these players since then, but this game has pretty much just gone back to basics.
Yeah, after the absolute monster game that Miro had on the Olaf, he didn't receive it yesterday, was target banned away. He's going to get access to it here again, and yeah, instant lock on both of these sides. Trundle is going to come through, so potential answer to Miru's Olaf. You got to kind of pillar him in the face, and yes, he can pop the ulti and not really be slowed that much, but the terrain still does stand in his way. Speaking of terrain, that's a lot of it locked down. Emperor's Divide, a lot of walls being created, a lot of space, a lot of these zones that Gravitas looking to play with here.
Yeah, it's difficult to kill the Olaf, but you can just kind of put him in a box, you know,
Yes.
so he can't get out. And he'll deal with that problem later. Avant looking towards their final pick on red side. What's it going to be?
Do they go towards like an 80 carry?
Oh,
okay.
Fantastic. That's what I wanted to see today. A Zillion. We were just talking about it for Shock.
Yeah, already super obnoxious, I think. Like, hearkening into the Olaf, and yes, you can, like, try and wall him away. If he doesn't pop the ulti, you can hit him with Trundle ult, shred those resists, and try and insta-give him. But when he has a Zillion to keep him alive, when he has a Zillion to zoom himself and the carry bombs to the backline, does become a little bit of a problem. This is going to mean a very slow mid lane. Right, this is likely, as you saw Hayri actually change his summoner as soon as he saw the Zillion. It's going to be a double TP, double like heavy control mage sort of matchup where they both just want to sit back, farm it up for a little while, and when you take a look at the junglers as well, they can put their jungle camps on farm and just play towards that slow style. So interesting for both of these guys, kind of gentleman's agreement at least so far in this matchup in the game plan.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of farming. Pyke and Lucian both banned out here from Avant, or by Avant. And yeah, Gravitas taking away both the Kindred and the Caitlyn as we look towards our next goal pick. Still need an 80 carry here for Avant.
Yeah, need it for both sides. The Pyke ban speaks out to me, given that Parbu has been able to pick that one up. We've seen very good games in the OPL from a bunch of players like Ayla yesterday. I believe Decoy's actually also played at this split. So very useful ban against the Gravitas lineup. AV is just going to take an 80 carry, and there we go. Still more move speed.
Yeah.
Zooming around the map.
Yeah, this is just a fast composition right now. I feel like if we just finished with a top lane Kled, we're just good to go.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and it immediately springs in my mind. Olaf not necessarily going to be the jungler. Chippy's the only guy in the OPL that still could whip this one out.
Yeah.
So could be a long con here from the red side of the map. AV, yes, it can just like default to that position. He's very strong right now. You could happily blind him, but if he gets a matchup he likes at the top side, AV could always go for the pivot and switch things up.
Well, pretty much based on this pick now then, we had the Xayah to go
Yeah.
alongside the Yuumi into the bottom lane. And Gravitas, what will their final pick be? Because this may be going through their minds right now. You can see Jude behind them thinking about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, Pabu's sitting there using the majority of that clock, cycling through a couple of champions. He will know that this is a possibility there and kind of does make it a little bit harder to judge. Kennen is ultimately going to be the lock-in, so... Yeah, interesting one there.
Yeah, I feel like Kennen relatively safe, not knowing exactly what the top lane pick is going to be right here. You know, the worst that can happen is you get a Gnar or something that's going to match you in a ranged duel, right?
Yeah, you kind of skew it. You pick something obnoxious in the laning phase, then they kind of have to match or look for heavy kill threat, which they actually have done. Chippy's already got himself a pentakill this season on the Camille, and we're only 4 weeks in, so a proud Camille player. CC can set up for the Olaf ganks, and yes, you mentioned Kennen, pretty safe pick up at the top side, but that's a scary jungle top duo to go up against.
It's just a lot of kill threat, you know. Even at level 6, it depends if we see an attack speed or an AP Kennen right here, but the laning phase can be, iffy into this duo. And I think as time goes on as well, I'm looking towards these early skirmishes, like Zillion's going to be a major deal. There's just a lot of synergy across the board, extra movement speed, protecting the Olaf, a lot of front to back, just looks very good here. Yeah,
and on the other side of the coin, right, it's big AoE ultis. If Yuumi can start things off, Azir can sit back, and you have the double 80 carries just sitting behind the created wall. You want the AoE coming in from Pabu. They kind of want to set up the map and look for those TP flanks of the Kennen. If he can get on top of the Zilean, that will be super useful as this game treads on, right? In all of these cases, when you look at champions that keep other people alive, you think about Soraka, Tahm-Kench, Zilean, prime example in this one. He then just becomes the target. Right. If you can kill him first in a team fight, then zero utility from those ultis or those utilities there. So Shock, I think, will definitely have a very large target on his back this game, and Gravitas looking to hone in on the man with the clock.
Yeah, for sure. And as we get into game, we have a coach struggling with his headset.
Yep.
Sorry, I was struggling a little bit there, guys. It's been a while since I've been here.
It was a slight moment of panic in his eyes as he looked at it what is going on?
I was like, oh my god, they're going to introduce me. I must be ready.
Quick. But welcome to the desk. First port of call.
Yep.
Rusty did it, I believe it was last week.
Yep.
What's the jersey called? How are we going up against AV?
This one's called Thunder. No, Glory. Sorry, Glory.
Good save.
Glory.
Yeah,
sorry. No, because you know what? I'm nervous before the game, and I'm concentrating on the game and thinking about the pick band. Then you ask me about the jersey name, then I get more nervous, and it's just nerves. But I got it right, so it's all good in the end.
This is on you, Ejim. But yeah, I mean, Are you nervous about the picks and bands now that they're finished, or are you feeling better about them now?
No, it's one of those things where, when you're a coach, manager, owner, whatever you are that doesn't play the game, you're not physically in the game, you're just nervous. You can't control anything. All the preparation's done, all the coaching's done, and it's you're merely observing what could happen. So
it's in real life teamfight tactics, right? Aladoric and Gunkrab finding decoy.
Yeah.
So that scared me as well.
Just adding another layer of nerves there. Speaking about the champ select, this is looking to be a fairly slow game, right? This is triple TP versus triple TP, heavy control mages in the mid lane. Are you surprised at that coming into this one? Of course, you can speak towards Gravitas's preparation, but the fact that AV willing to match here?
So when we picked the Azir, we definitely thought the Zilean was an option. Apparently, the Azir, I don't know much about the Azir-Zilean matchup kind of thing, but apparently we do get prio.
Yep.
And I think priority is very important when playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
So it'd be down to what Trundle can get done, what our jungle mid can get done in this phase where Zilean can't really match or can't move.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of scaling, right, it's which team plays team fights better. It pretty much wins the game in my opinion if it's even. So I think the draft really looks like kind of an execution. Which team executes better.
There's never enough of a scaling advantage to heavy favor one side.
Yeah.
Speaking on the draft a little bit further, we were kind of thinking about the fact that Olaf lock-in, given Miru's kind of prowess earlier on in the season, but Chippies can also be able to pick that one up. Is that something that you guys were thinking about during the draft
100%. You can't play against AV and see an Olaf pick and then be so sure that it's jungle. So you have to always assume that when you're picking top lane champs, how hard do they get railed by Olaf if they do? But I think we have a very good jungle matchup. At 6, it's historically Trundle is very good into Olaf. So it's kind of a game where both teams want to get 6, but also they want to get priority as well in a sense. So it's a weird one. But both teams kind of have their win conditions, and their level 6 power spikes. So it comes down to execution again.
Well, great. Thank you very much for the insight, and yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Didn't struggle to take the headset off.
No.
Off his head, bloody
Clean execution.
Zooming out the door. Yeah, and as we kind of alluded to, potentially some slow laning phases, there was Miru just kind of sitting around the mid lane for a moment, just kind of sat over the wall from his Raptors there, potentially looking for something. Given that Shock is being pushed in, Harry does have to kind of step up to be able to clear out the wave. If you can get away with not using mana, especially given he's only sitting on about 30-40% right now, doesn't want to blow the Sand Soldiers if he can hold on to it. So if a double bomb could have came through, then gank opportunity was there, but it's just going to be the full clear from both of these junglers almost. Praelus gets the bottom crab, whereas Miro's gone for the golems there.
Yeah, first recall coming in from the Olaf as well. Gonna be the Warrior enchant.
And you can see how scared Parbu is.
Yeah, right.
Because he knows his jungler is path top to bot, and they knew where the Olaf started, so it is in the reverse situation. And yes, he's a cannon, has pretty long range. You get the auto attack from range, of course, and you can farm with Q if need be, but you know the Olaf is in the vicinity, and your jungler is nowhere on the map to help. So zero vision, zero ability to contest the wave, just getting very slowly shoved underneath his turret.
Yeah, I mean, in the vacuum, great matchup for Cannon, but yeah, it's really about that jungle matchup as we see a Praelus making his way into the bottom brush.
We also see a Miro
Good
down
grab
here.
in
There
the
it is.
perfect place for Praelus to jump out of the brush, but Miro is here for the counter game. Flash forwards,
TPs.
double axe comes down. Raid is going to die here. No exchange on Gun Crab. Shock TP into the bottom lane. Make it 5 members in the bottom side for Avant.
Yeah, just a very heavy commit there from AV. Double TP comes through incredibly early, maybe expecting more out of Gravitas, but no pillar came through from Praelus. Maybe he doesn't have a level as of yet. Thought there was an opportunity, was in melee range of the Sivir, but heal comes through. Aladoric buys a lot of time with the Guardian pop, the W coming through on the return as well, and AV able to turn that one around. So cheeky first blood going to the jungler.
And Shock will be able to just walk himself back into the mid lane. Did use his TP though, so keep that in mind because he will need to manually go back and then walk back into the mid lane. And Azir will just get a very healthy first back.
And also sitting on 0 mana. So it's not like he gets back to lane and he's like, okay, double bomb, let's push this one out and let's get a reset for ourselves. It's not really going to be that situation. Does just have to auto attack with potentially some of the slowest auto attacks in Zilean on in the game rather. So not the best time for him right now. And you can see, given that play, Gravitas didn't look for the commit. Yes, they opted in for the gank, but no TPs came through despite being available. Parbu now bounces top, gets a free reset, given the threat he was under. Of course, Miru showed down there, so he just pushes that one in, walks lengthily back to base, and Hayri's going to do exactly the same thing. A little bit of a fake recall and gets that wave underneath the enemy turret. So solo laners in stable positions right now for the blue side.
Yeah, that's going to feel real good for the Cannon. Looks like it may be an AP build as well on the horizon for Parbu.
Yeah.
So yeah, as long as he can get out of this laning phase, hit 6, which he has done already, and then get into a skirmish, into a fight, will be good to go. And speaking of which, teleport's all still available for Gravitas, right? So they will be able to respond or make a play themselves as Trundle was making his way to the bottom lane.
And that's the kind of weird thing about what happened. Gunkrab actually is just straight stepping up in this lane. Pillar not yet used. Oh!
Yeah. Fantastic binding coming through. Praelus is still wailing on Gunkrab, but without the support of the rest of his team, nothing he can really do.
And that is just so well done. Decoy and Raid lining up. Aladoric sees the play. Binding comes through. No flashes burnt now on 2 gank attempts. This is a large commit to the bottom side for Gravitas, and this time around, Praelus once again. Trundle without blowing the pillar, gets into melee range, but the follow-up just isn't there.
There's the ultimatum issued onto Parbu. Here comes Miro as well, flash away by Parbu. And he will be good to go, burning the flash for that one. And Gravitas on the flip side will be able to prioritize the Dragon. It's going to be yet another Infernal first.
Scary dive attempt top lane if they do want to commit for it. Given the Slicing Maelstrom is there, so not willing to keep that one going, and Praelus going to be left to take that one down. Get an Air Dragon after that one, but I was going to say this bottom lane position is super weird, right? Because it's like first blood goes over to AV and they're able to kind of push the wave, get it. It was a gank onto them that was turned around, and you normally look at that and it's like, oh wow, they're going to be in such a good position. But given that the TPs weren't burnt, this is a bottom lane that is under a lot of threat, and you can kind of see that. Like, Trundle, without Pillar, once again, is actually getting ganks off, and they are pushing very far forwards, but able to get away with it so far. Of course, as you saw, blue buff taken away and Pabu still under threat underneath his turret on the top side.
Yeah, I figure Praelis is probably just holding Pillar for a surprise Olaf, right?
Yeah.
Because he ganked at level 4 and at level 6, I believe, so he would have had Pillar both times, so he's probably just waiting for that response. But yeah, 8 minutes in, and I will say that Gravitas doing rather well across the board when you're looking at top side. You know, I was fearing for the Kennen's life, but one gank mitigated, gone back to base now, picked up the Ignite and the teleport of Spellbook. And mid lane's just been farming away. I don't think Harry has even moved away from mid lane. It's just been people moving around him, orbiting him.
Like all of the mid laners, they've just been walking back to base and then not TPing back to their lane. So fairly slow recalls, and it's kind of interesting where all of the ganks have kind of failed. Right, like the bottom ones onto the Sivir, onto the Lux, just get turned around and do not stick. And then the same for Pabu on the top side. These lanes are weathering the storm of all that pressure that is coming their way fairly well. Has amounted to a reasonable gold lead in the jungle, I suppose, but kind of everywhere else within a couple of 100 gold touching distance, and very even games so far.
Yeah, and it's like what Juice was saying is, you know, while going towards those team fights, it will just be down to which team fights better, and it does feel like that will be the case. You know, it feels like a game that will just make it to 30 minutes, and then we'll just see how it shakes out from there. Yet another jungler coming down to the bot lane, clearing out a ward this time, and Scry's Bloom just making Miru's presence known on the bottom side as well.
Both these junglers have fairly good reads on each other. It's always like Miru coming down and shepherding the gank that is potentially coming through from Praelis, and it's never been a 2v2 or a gank coming without a response. Everybody does kind of end up down there, and you can see the Trundle walking over Vision right now, trying to attack the mid lane. Azir, one of the best champions at clearing out this kind of Vision in the side lane bushes. You know, you can hit with the Sand Soldier, whack over the wall. Didn't need to that time, as he does have his jungler, but given that Miru was also spotted, nothing fancy happening as of yet. Gold lead, tiny bit in favor of AV, but once again, the Infernal picked up for Gravitas.
Yeah, and Praelis is actually sticking around the mid lane, you can see, but he was spotted out on a ward well in advance, just going to push in the wave alongside Hayuri. Miru coming in from the top side of mid, though. We've also got Chippy's on his way down. Looks like he's just taking crab right now.
And that was the thing. Chippies did actually look for something towards the mid lane and rotated down and was fishing for an opportunity. Left lane for a reasonably long time there, as it was bouncing back towards him, and really didn't need to be there contesting the cannon. So I suspect that is the reason why the Trundle sat so long in mid lane, because Hayri's looking at it like, I want to get a recall off fairly soon. I need to get this wave in, but if I push it myself, that could be a Camille just flanking behind. Hextech ultimatum, and then a double bomb inside the Camille ulti. This is something that AV have done multiple times now. I believe the second time they played this specific combo, this split. And it's just so easy. The first bomb can even be thrown at Chippies before he goes in, right? Like, if he hookshot in a straight line, he will pick up the orb on the ground and take it into the back line. So it's not like Shock actually has to land a double bomb, I say in air quotes. He can very easily start this one off. This is a contest, though. Shelly resets.
Yeah, it's been a little bit awkward, to be honest. It's been a bit of back and forth between the junglers. And yeah, with the full reset on Shelly, it's kind of dissipated the entire play from both teams. And they will just back away.
And almost an inconsequential misclick. Ooh.
Big laser.
Yeah. Of the Azir passive there, he was clicking on Shelly, I believe, and hit his Olaf. But as you mentioned, yes, that laser hit both, which is surprising at a Yuumi lane. TP is still available, so the reset will come through from Raid and Decoy, and oh no, actually they're cancelling that one, so happy to stick around.
Teleport back into the mid lane, just gonna, I was gonna say eat a bit of a punish, but Hayri neither punishes or gets the cannon.
Yeah.
And will make his way back to base.
I don't believe blue buffs have been handed over to the mid laners.
No.
So both of them have just kind of sat this game on very little mana, and neither of them completed a mana item as of yet. The Catalyst comes through from Shock now on that reset. Oh, this is a gank.
Yeah, Chip taking a lot of damage though, but it's still the 2 versus 1. Here comes the entire team of Gravitas though. And while Miru is unstoppable, it doesn't stop him from dying.
Yeah, and a complete map flip. Last time it was AV, multiple TPs into the bottom side. Gravitas give them a taste of their own medicine up in the top lane. Rift Herald was being taken, as that's going to be a stun.
Bomb, stun into Root, into stun. Bad times for Hayri, but he's out of it now, and the rest of the team is here to back him up. That being said, Shelly is still under attack here by Praelis, and now AV poised to potentially strike. A lot of damaged help pods here on the side of Gravitas. Shelly confirmed by Prayless, but he's unable to actually pick up the eye right here. Shock following through, has to flash the double bomb for the stun.
And okay, the game is on. Can they make it back to the pit? Can they actually contest this one? Recall is going to come through from Kennen, and he does have TP.
It's now turned into capture the flag.
Yeah, but not very ambitious here. Oh,
Yeah,
probably.
nice stop on the recall.
Should have landed there, maybe. But
Yeah, maybe.
I'll call it out.
I mean, we're in an isometric game, you know.
Yeah, it actually has a Z-axis. A little bit of a weird one, but
Yeah.
wouldn't have been his demise anyway. Just truffles over the wall and gets the reset off. So that does mean the Rift Herald does get taken down pre-14 minutes, but won't be used by either squad. No plates being given over for free as Great popping a Boomerang Blade now in a 2 versus 1 for the time being. Trying to hold this top lane out of turret.
Yeah, Yumi's here though, so we'll be good, and turret plating, as you can see, will be falling soon. So yeah, top lane's fine, and we have basically just swapped the map.
Yeah.
Australia lanes. Parbu is basically fine, to be honest. You know, I was a lot more concerned for Parbu, but I think the amount of action we had in the bottom side of the map, the amount of people who were just leaving lane, just meant that Parbu could sit top lane, soak up the farm. I mean, this is a very happy Kennen, to escape laning phase against Camille Olaf with farm under his belt and a kill is like optimal Kennen play.
We've had some like big macro. Oh, actually, that's a pillar
into the top lane. Yeah, pillar for the first time in this game, and Guncrab one truly going to go down. The route is good onto Aladoric. Won't get the kill, but it's a 1-for-0 over to Gravitas and top lane priority here.
Yeah, 14 minutes gets dinged as well, so no plating, which does mean no resist. This could actually be first brick. Laser comes through and eats the wave, and a very nice defense there from Aladoric.
Yeah, long time until the wave crashes as well, so that might just keep the top tower alive. Miru is on his way. That being said, Pablo in the bottom lane, clearing out the minion wave. Aladoric and Miru. We'll see if they can actually defend. Yeah, with teleports, that's going to be a yes. So no first turret.
Going to say that there's been some very big expenditures for like very little payoff, right? Like AV early, a lot of their, as we're like talking about, like this Kennen has got away with the laning phase in a very fine position. Because they committed so much early to the bottom defense and only got a single kill, they couldn't really commit to anything else, and then Gravitas were in a very fortunate situation where the Yuumi had actually reset separate of her AD carry, and he attached to a different TP. It wasn't Raid actually bringing the cat up to the top lane to counteract what AV were looking for, the contest on the Rift Herald up there, and so it is kind of this weird situation where a lot of things have been mirrored on both sides of the map, and only 3 kills in an infernal start game is pretty surprising. Gold lead still under 1,000 here between these two guys, so we thought of it in Champion Select. Fairly slow laning phase was expected, and both of these guys playing that fairly well so far.
Yeah, not for lack of trying though. I feel like we've seen a lot of Trinal ganks in this early game, but yeah, all pretty much fizzled out. 3 minutes until next Dragon, and it will be yet another Infernal, so I do expect maybe that's the first time we'll really see these two compositions hit each other face on. But yeah, AV just clearing the top side of the map of wards, just allowing Miru just to path into the top side, but may just know the Olaf's position just because of how that one was forced.
Yeah, junglers going to find each other in the river, and you heard Juves in the interview saying that jungle matchup post 6, you just kind of ulti the Olaf in the head, and yes, he can run away from you, but does become incredibly squishy as you see Miro, as soon as he sees the Trundle, just gets the hell out of dodge and walks back to his side, given that the reset comes through from Shock. No TP is there from the Zillion. Desperately wanted to get that reset. Got the Lost Chapter now after the Rod of Ages that is stacking up. That's a very nice finding.
It is. Forces the Featherstorm as well. Toss that one out. Kind of cut away there as the Olaf was going in, but I reckon he's just backing away now. It's fine.
Yeah. The big difference there is the Chippies did go for a reset, so would have been out of Parbu's vision. Wouldn't have actually known where he was on the map, and buys a Tiamat, has the makings of a Triforce, and you do see some fairly deep vision there from AV side of the coin. You can see just above the mini-map on the bottom right-hand corner, and those are useful TP flank wards for a Camille. Hookshot can come over the back of the wall, get himself in between the turret, and then you just have a very deep flank onto what was already a Xayah that had burnt Featherstorm, so you saw AV, yes, Mira steps up to the play, they looked for something, and Gravitas did just immediately have to recoil. And this could just be the turret going down, so AV ever so slowly looking to extend this gold lead despite actually being down in kills.
Yeah, actually not going to be the tower in the end. I mean, so close to first tower on both sides, to be honest. But yeah, there wasn't the full commit coming out from the jungler. And yeah, we're now 17 minutes into this game, and you really just can tell how the early game has gone just looking at like the CS scores, to be honest. Like 180 farm on Azia, 170 in the mid lane on Zillion, 180 on the Civet, you know, like everybody's being given the room to farm.
Yeah, like most people are at the clock or above.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fairly strong scaling from all of these guys. I will just say, almost inconsequential, but the Zillion. You can tell Shock is a Zillion player because he sees a cannon minion, also sees a blue buff, and he has the exact timing to throw a bomb and then just walk away knowing full well that the turret's going to do enough and he will be able to lock that one down. Here's a look, though, in the mid lane. Hayri, yeah, gets a stern gaze from the Zillion and shuffles away.
Yeah, he's good. We did see the first 2 turrets fall, though. Top lane for bottom lane, and we'll have another tower in the top lane, courtesy of Pabu. And yeah, I think that's the thing with One Tricks, right? Like, One Tricks will always have those small plays that they just know. The 1%ers, right? Like, you know, as like an Alawi player, I know that I will set up tentacles before first wave, that type of thing, you know, that you won't see out of like another Alawi player. Same with like, you know, Shock right there, clearing out the mini wave and simultaneously getting the blue buff. And it's like these small optimizations which really separate you from the pack.
Yeah, certainly is. And like to make a bigger conversation out of that, if I'll hold that, if this does fizzle, Kenned's actually going in. That could be a flash.
He's thinking about it. It's a little close to tower, and everybody else has walked down catwalk. Pabu, close to the double bomb and the axe, but dodges both. AV, just kind of backing away from this play.
Yeah, we'll hold the conversation because Infernal Dragon has actually spawned, and that's why you see all 10 members joining your screen. Aladoric, fairly low, but on the Lux, has the Guardian, has the heal, and has a very long utility range, so can just kind of sit this one back. Shock just looking to clear out the wave, and AV now do have the fast track to the Dragon. Gravitas still looking to contest, though. That's a binding.
Oh, it's a binding, and that's almost an instantly dead Praelus.
Babu
didn't get in range even to ult the Olaf, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade right here, following through. Hayri looking for the divide, but not quite in range. Aladoric taking a bunch of damage on the backside of that, and Shock managed to get away with this with a flash of the wall.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just going to be the 1-for-1. Chippies has to commit to take down the Trundle, and it did look a little bit dicey there for the Zillion. Splits off with the rest of his team and does have to expend the summon. Our mid lane is getting looked at now.
Should be the tower going down. Grunkrab sets forward onto Pabu, but yeah, Hayri is able to do it. Last couple auto attacks with the fading minion wave. And Gravitas now 3 towers to 1. Dragon's still alive, and Miro actually deciding to start this one off. Chippy is dead, but he has to teleport to come in. They might have that timing actually on Gravitas since they chose to go to the mid lane turret.
Yeah, you can see no vision there in the pit. He's going to spot that one, but given the Pabu just went for the straight up recall topside of mid lane, the contest was not going to be there. So they get a mid turret. They're happy to break that one away from the Zillion, whereas the blue side, the mid lane outer, is still fairly strong. They trade that for the Dragon. Now, a single Infernal Dragon apiece. 100 gold splits these teams. So once again, that was 10 members on your screen. Trundle face checks a binding, and it's like, okay, that could have been a misstep that means a wipe there for Gravitas, but it's just going to be the 1-for-1, and until everybody's just kind of sitting back, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a very orderly game, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no chaos. It's like, meet at Dragon at dawn.
Yeah.
And we'll see you, we'll trade blows, and then I'll see you next week. You know, like, there's no scrappiness, there's no backstabbing, there's no ambushes. It's all just very, like, a gentlemanly agreement, you know?
Yeah, and you kind of think back to what Juve said, it is a game of execution when it comes down to similar comps, and as you kind of ramp up to this sort of thing, given that not much has happened, right? Like, given that everybody has been given that time, the tiny missteps that may happen later on in this game, they mean so much more because people have that extra item, that extra component that maybe in a scrappier game they wouldn't have had.
Yeah.
And everybody is so even that nobody, it's not like you can look at Chippies and this game randomly he's 0-5 and it's like he's just never going to be a threat. Everybody is really online and everybody is on the clock, so a single mistake could be a death, it could just be a team fight wipe, and execution is under the microscope this time.
Shock has found himself in the top lane with Aladoric. And also the Olaf coming in. It's Hayri and his tower versus 3. Teleport's coming there. Flash is going to buy enough time where that teleport's going to complete. And now Pabu being here, that becomes a very realistic fight. Or just an escort out of top lane.
Yeah, it could just be the escort, as you say. Do they actually want to commit to something around the Baron? That's on the hunt popped, and AV looking for more, but happy to just kind of walk away. Chippy's now in a situation where he's finished his Triforce. He's got the items he really needs to start contesting in the side lane if he wants to look to make progress. He can deal with waves very quickly, and now that TP advantage is going to be in his hands, has a lot of room to play with. But turret you think should go down before Kennen arrives, and I think that will be the case here. Pabu, does he actually step up for this one? He's going to.
Just a cheeky tower there. Chippy is able to get that side tower, has the teleport, and is, of course, Camille. So pretty easy to get away from any type of play that's going to be set up on you. Teleport to the mid lane here. Gonna be, yeah, Raid and Gold Yumi farming up this minion wave. And yeah, it really does feel like we are just waiting for the next objective before we're going to see any type of splash, right? Like we see a bit of vision being thrown down, a bit of like poking back and forth, but it really is just about Baron, which is now up, and 2 minutes until the Mountain Dragon.
And it's comically, like, this is comically similar. 80 carries, like, just complete their same items, right? There's a Doran's Blade and a Dagger missing on Raid's side, where it's got the double pink ward there, so bunch of spikes being hit and mimicked across the board. Aladoric doing a very good job this game of just sitting around walls and fishing for bindings. Does kind of cost Lux nothing. And whilst we have kind of the lull, right, you can speak about these things, like Lux returning to meta. A lot of people think about like the big burst and the ability to like poke out a laning phase. You have that such extensive range there, but a lot of the benefits are in the 1%. You can check pushes as a support with your E that costs you basically nothing.
Yeah.
If you can get the early Moby, she's a very good roaming threat, and you do become a threat of your own as you kind of tread on later into that game, and it is about denying the vision. Much like maybe a Fiddlesticks to a lesser extreme, you sit over the wall, and if you do have very good pink ward coverage, then Aladoric can kind of look to shine in this one, so...
Yeah, less committal than Fiddle.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
He was the first one that sprung to mind, and I'm like, it's a much lesser extreme.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely get the analogy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean...
More so like a
Blitz
Blitzcrank, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss the days of Fiddlesticks support, or Fiddlesticks just anywhere, to be honest.
I don't. I was never able to play Fiddlesticks to a reasonable degree. And
nice double binding there coming out of Aladoric, but is the response from the Yumi ultimate. Yeah, Mira is able to pretty much tank all of that and walk away.
only in this game does the stopwatch come through and Gravitas is like, all right, we've had enough. That's
Yep.
we got something. Let's
You proved your point.
That's it. You didn't want to die? Okay, we'll cop that one. No summoner used. Chippy's, of course, recalled and still did have the TP advantage, so maybe that was the reason there. You do have legitimate grounds to not want to keep committing there from Gravitas' side of the coin. They don't want to bash their heads into a TP flank that they don't need to. So once again, everybody resets. Once again, the vision is traded back and forth. Once again, a dragon is spawning, and many members on these teams are converging around the bottom side pit.
It almost feels like we might get into a one-and-done game, right? Like we have one big team fight that's just Baron into push into win, right? And sometimes those games do happen, you know, you sit at 0-0 or like 3-2 in this case, and then it all just blows wide open.
Yeah, and you look like mega big picture. League of Legends is one of those esports where, like, Jake was talking about it on the couch. As soon as you fall behind, the game tilts and gets harder. It's not anything with rounds or, like, stop marks where you start again.
Yeah.
But this game really has been that. It's like, dragon spawn, all right, this is the fight. Who gets it? And then it's like, okay, start again. Oh, speaking of, though, mid lane fight, that's a newbie.
Yeah, we're into, what, round 11 right now. And we'll call that one an eco. Binding's over the wall. And that's the other thing, in these stare downs, you know, that random Lux bind that comes across can be big. Oh, the pillar coming through as well can do the same. Frailer's jumping
Big
forward, but
double bomb.
everybody into the bomb right there, into the grinder, and AV chasing down the rest of these kills right here. Raid, gonna back away from this one, but that was 3 kills instantaneously for AV.
Yeah, just as you mentioned, the one mistake comes through. Gravitas commit a little bit too far. They thought they found the split. AV go off in 2 directions and they look for the hard commit, but Zillion just does Zillion things. Fighting at a choke point, chasing forwards. He didn't even have to burn the ult. He gets a big double bomb and Gravitas just fall to the wayside there. AV, they don't care about the dragon. Onto the Baron, and this one's going down quickly.
Yeah, it was like bomb into laser into like an AD, into an armor-focused team, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at Gravitas, pretty much no one has magic resist. Everybody's got a lot of armor though.
Yep.
That's not going to help you into bomb laser.
And yeah, they get a dragon for themselves. They get themselves a mountain, but not the prize they were looking for. So the most significant gold lead of the game we've seen has just been under 1,000 the entire time, and balloons to 4. Able to quadruple that one as we now get to see how AV want to set up the map. All of their tools really are still available, yes? Flashes are gone, but
not a lot of flash-reliant champions. TPs are available for the red side, so they can go play the 1-3-1. They can play the split push if they want, or they could just look for sieging under turret. As you mentioned before, Lux non-committal. Zilean exactly the same thing there. If you land an axe and can follow it up with that CC, certainly can be effective. Probably a difficult task into someone like Hayri on the Azir. Xayah Feathers are definitely something to think about, but the 1-4 is in effect, and AV posturing in the middle lane.
Yeah, Avant, everybody went back to base and picked up at least a control ward. It's now just inching that line forwards
Here
now.
we go, Pabu.
They're looking for this, but Parvo is kind of the soft flank, to be honest, from the front. The Yuumi ult only tagging a couple members a few times, not really getting the completion on the route. I could see what they were looking for, but, you know, AV were quick on the trigger to back away because they knew the Chippies was pushing the side lane. So it's not, we want to go for this fight. It's, we can keep them at arm's length while Chippies just takes everything from you.
Just keeping them interested in the mid lane, and Chippies with the punish. You see multiple members now rotating towards bot side for Gravitas, but because Hayri split off top side of mid lane, looking for that extra little pick, look where he's resetting. Look where the Yuumi is resetting as well, and that just gives AV complete control of bot lane. That was a bomb onto Ray that did next to half of his HP. A precarious territory as the base is actually broken. Azir kind of
patching it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bandaging the wound there
Bit of
temporarily.
duct tape on the base, yeah. Something gonna last for a little while though, but yeah, the fact that Camille was just able to smash open the inhibitor line as the push is coming to the mid lane. Oh, this could be it though from Gravitas.
Nowhere to go for AV. Stuck between the cannon.
And this is going to be a maelstrom onto 4. Absolutely beautiful coming out of Parbu. Chippy's the last one remaining. Double kill out for Hayri and the wipe here for Gravitas.
And a flashless cannon flank gets a 4-man slicing maelstrom onto the backline. AV with the Baron. They were looking to break open the base, and Parbu says absolutely not. Completely turns that one around, and maybe the shoe on the other foot. This could be base broken. 20 seconds on the smallest death timer here. Gravitas. 4 members alive, and they're going to take an in-hit.
And Aya's having some Smeb flashbacks right there. Parbu just coming right in there with the Maelstrom onto the whole team. So good. And that's an inhibitor exchanged, and no inhibitor down for Gravitas. So in the end, who's the real winner?
And look, in the OPL, we don't have Smeb, but you call this one the Mimic. Parbu throws his hat into the ring. Sonya's come through. Chippies is already committed. He's like, I have to save the boys. Everybody is getting roasted, and comes in for the backline, able to trade onto Hayri, but meant absolutely nothing at that point. So game, once again, the balance shifts.
Yeah.
The scales back into almost equilibrium. Yes, there's a bit of a gold lead, but in terms of the map state, kind of falls back into place, and that was exactly what Gravitas needed to get themselves back into this one. A single team fight went astray. AV punished with the Baron, but the counter hook is there, and
yeah, it doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. Perfect positioning, perfect ult, perfect team fight, and an unfortunate catch here. Buying some time though, Hayri, coming out of the divide, and Gunkrab unable to finish him off, so yeah, that's averted disaster there, to be honest, from Gravitas, but did have to burn the Zonyas for that.
yeah, Zonyas, and it was a very wide wall coming from the Azir. Has been that level 16 mark, so rank 3 ulti. You saw Chippies, where he's like positioning right now, was actually looking for a split push on the other side of the map, and given that his team was committing, he dashed over the Dragon Wall, was like, maybe I can get a cheeky backdoor on the in-hit. But no fight kind of arose from that play, and everybody reset for the 70 millionth time this game. So he's like, okay, I'll take a Golem camp, I'll just push the wave in, play a little slow. This is an Azir flank though, here we go.
Parbo again coming in with the flank, but yeah, Olaf actually does want to die right here to get that health back off the Zilean ultimate. Now he's able to run away, but instant binding comes through. But AV are pushed away. Chippy's in the bot side, gonna take the inhibitor. But the mid lane's wide open here for Gravitas.
Yeah, now the race is on. Gravitas have committed all of their TPs, bar the AD carry. Multiple members flying in from AV. Ray gets a big chunk on the Sivir.
Chippies goes right in there trying to deal with Raid, but that's going to be the binding on the backside of that one. And that will be the shutdown onto the Xayah. Miru chasing after, but the pillar is good out from Praelus, and this should be a full disengage now from Gravitas.
Counter-attack after counter-attack here. TPs from Hayri comes through onto a double bomb, but Allah Doric turns this one around. Chippies is incredibly quick on the Camille, and he's going to lock down Praelus.
Yeah, issues the ultimatum here in Praelus. There's no escape from that Camille. Pushing down into the mid lane. This will be at the very least a tower, it looks like, as the recall's now coming in from Gravitas.
Yeah. Lengthy ones as well. No Baron in their hands, so 8 seconds is the play. Chippy's already broke this one earlier before the fight happened, and now just pushing in the wave, making something happen bot side for Gravitas to think about is, yes, AV going to continue this one. Mid lane inhib under fire. Can Azir defend?
No.
Oh, he dashes through a bomb!
He tries, and now he's in a real bad situation.
He has no E!
He throws out the divide, but it's not going to be so lucky as last time in River. And essentially dies for nothing in front of the base.
Yeah, that is a crucial mistake there from the Azir player. That is one too many times splitting off from the rest of the lineup. It has been multiple times this game, but now actually loses his life at the worst possible moment. Baron spawns, AV immediately take down the Azir, ping the big purple worm. They have all of their vision control. Yes, TP flank wards are there, but Desire is the only one with a TP, so all of Gravitas' success has been from Pabu flanking. It's not going to be the case here, and that's a Baron.
Yeah, a contest not really on the cards here for Gravitas, and you're really just hoping for another Hail Mary Pabu Maelstrom flank, you know? And a lot of that will be on finding that stray deep ward behind AV as they siege. But now, with Baron, they will be very comprehensive about clearing out these wards as they siege.
Yeah, and look, when you only have one ninja on the board, you get a little
40% attack boost.
Cheeky little attack boost here, and Gunkrab is going to fall victim to this one. Pabu is around. Alidoric's
He
here.
sees two. The Maelstrom's good on to both of these targets. Over the wall, here comes Olaf with the potential save. Still gets the kill. Oh, Alidoric throws out the ultimate, and it will be a 1-for-1 trade in the end.
Almost gets the 2-for.
Yeah.
Alidoric a millimeter away from landing the return on his W. Actually would have saved Gunkrab's life, and we saw that happen yesterday. The AD carry scrambling to get back into the return. Unable to quite find it, and honestly a fairly nice play. I'm surprised he made it that deep into enemy territory without him being spotted. The Pixel Bush can see the path he took, but maybe the ward a little bit placed too far to the left. And against the flow of Baron, taking down an AD carry, incredibly effective. Yes, it is a 1-for-1, but Pabu just bought maybe a minute, maybe 40 seconds to play with. And that was his TP timer, right? He didn't have that tool available, and you see, made a creative play. 10 seconds now on Gunkrab. He does have TP to get back to this one, but as soon as Pabu spawns, he has a deep ward behind AV's push once again.
Pings
are going onto it, so one-man armies, a single pick, and may have just bought himself another team fight. They're going
for it. He's also picked up the cleanse as well for the initial CC. Pabu now spotted on wards, though. Yeah, not fully committing to this play, and now he's just a cannon on the run. They spotted him.
This is
the solid snake sound, the guards have been alerted, and everybody's chasing down Pabu.
Chippies picks the wrong direction. Slow isn't going to land. Cleanse comes through. Wanting to just get his flashback, I think, but...
Yeah, Chippies has got him dead to rights, I believe. Tactical sweep comes through, and that will be the kill.
Yeah. I think missed time there from Gravitas, and not in the hands of Pabu. That was a bomb stepped onto for Raid as soon as he went for the TP play, and AV backed off. They maybe saw the TP coming through, and because there was going to be no follow-up, you can't cancel TPs in 2019, and the cannon just has to run away, so big opportunity sort of missed there on the defense. Baron still on 4 members as AV are continuing the push. Gold lead heavily in their hands now, and that's going to be the 3rd in-hit.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, committal to the play there, and Gravitas unable to follow through, because that could have been yet another big flank, big turnaround, but it seems like the single bullet that was left in the chamber has been expended by Gravitas. And Avant, that being said, that's a lot of damage going through from the Azir, from the pillar combo, but AV now pushing him underneath the base. Hey, he almost gets one shot right there, focusing onto the turrets, and this is the last bastion of hope here for Gravitas. Pabu goes into the backline onto 3, but the damage isn't there for the rest of the team, and Harry gets cut down. And Avant move on to the Nexus, and we'll finish it off. AV take the game.
Yeah, too little, too late, and standing strong is AV. That was really a cohesive effort. Multiple members standing tall in that game. Comp comes online. The last fight, they look for it. Zillion ulti still there, so the long play is always available, and they have all of those tools. A Zillion in the late game, a Sivir in the late game. Absolutely fine. There was a few little hiccups there, a bit back and forth in a slow one, but I would take the victory.
I will say that I felt like Gravitas opening up opportunities for themselves in a lot of those situations. I mean, I think it was, that and also Hayri, the misstep, right? Which kind of like threw back a lot of momentum because for a while it was like, we could theoretically stall at this line for like another 5-10 minutes. But Azir misstepping into Baron into another siege comes down to that final play with the cannon, and that whiffs and it's bit of a game.
Yeah, it's kind of like, in my eyes, it's like AV played a very standard game, right? They went for the stall, the long game, and then it was Gravitas both making the mistakes to put themselves behind. It's Harry splitting off, gets caught, gets picked. It's the steps onto the bomb as Pabu looks for a TP flank, and they are the pitfalls. But then on the other side of the coin, like he gets the big solo kill of the red buff that buys them time. He gets the big flank in that mid lane. It was a highlight play, honestly, but unfortunately not able to find the win. AV just standing strong, cohesive unit, everything coming together, and they get the W.
Yeah, I mean, it shows also at the same time how much yes, it is about the cannon, but it's also about the whole team being there to receive the cannon and follow with the play, right? Because, yes, the middle lane went really well, but top lane we saw someone gets hit by a bomb, and then you suddenly can't go for that cannon play at all, and then cannon ends up dying, and that's unfortunately it. But, I mean, I think we saw good things from both teams, right? Like, the idea that we had out there from Gravitas was strong, and I mean, as Juves was saying at the start, it was really just down to execution. That's the whole game that we got.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it really, like, looking at Champ Select, you're like, this is the game we're going to get. And then that's exactly what played out, both teams opting in. There was a bunch of good like responses. Normally in League of Legends, you're looking, it's like, wow, like that was a very nice proactive play. Like Galio gets access to the map, flash combo from an Alistar or something, but it was always like somebody half committing, like a Trundle Pillar starts it off or an Olaf Axe. Nobody really had a big tool. And then it was like a cheeky Lux Binding lands, right? Or like the Feathers rip you back, somebody gets caught by an Emperor's Divide, and it was always the response that was there. And AV, I got a bigger dictionary. Response,
and I feel
large.
like for Avant, it was like the idea of non-commitment versus commitment, right? Because you can just toss out bindings, toss out CC, and if it hits, great, we go for a fight. But with Gravitas, it's like, well, Kenny, you've got one shot. If you TP, this has to work, right? And if it doesn't, then you lose. But yeah, so it felt like in the end, it was you had more room for error, I think, with the Avant lineup because because of that non-committal.
And it is kind of like a frustrating thing to play into. And this just speaks to AV on a broader scale. They have been, not this split, but last split, they were weird, right? Like, genuinely, they were a weird team playing weird things very often. We haven't seen the most experimentation this split. Like, new roster coming in, they had 3 subs to start this one off. They've had some very good games. There was a Ziggs in the bottom lane, but by no means have they lost that identity. But this was like an AV long-range control mid lane that they go back to, like, Guncrab on a scaling AD carry. And it's frustrating to play into that because, like, you are slightly on a clock. And everything we've mentioned, it is all just the non-committal CC they can throw out for free. And it's like, you can throw as many punches, but like one return lands and it's just lights out for your whole comp.
Yeah, I mean, they were literally on the clock because they had Zillion in the mid lane. And I just love, the inventive picks coming out of Avant as well. You know, the fact that they can just throw out a Ziggs into the bottom lane, a Zillion into the mid lane. And, you know, Juves was saying, like, we were expecting it. You know, this is something that we think about. Even Olaf potentially flexing into the top lane, right? And it just gives you more ability to maneuver around your opponents in Champions, like moving into a game, giving yourself more options and setting yourself up for those opportunities, right?
Because options is League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's not a game where like you have to be your mouse has to be pixel perfect, like on the head, and that's it. It's like a game of decision trees, right? And they explode. Like the tree gets incredibly wide, and very often I feel like, especially at the competitive level, when you get closer, like as you tread up from like Iron to best of the best world finals, like the game obviously gets like everybody gets close to perfection. And then it's just a game of like what you miss. It's the forgetfulness. There's so many things to think about. And a team like AV, I think really does like weather that advantage. Like, but you go into draft and you don't know whether Olaf is going top, and they're the only team that can do that, right? Like they're playing Zillion. That's not the weirdest thing, but like the fact that they've shown it and they have the propensity to go back. It's the little things that you lapse that really do like make big impacts in the game, and in a game of decisions, in a slow one like that was it.
Yeah, and that's just a really cool conversation to have, right? That's going to do it for Game 3. We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we'll see how these paintings are progressing. Into the bottom brush.
There it is.
Perfect place for Kratos to jump out of the brush, but Miro is here for the counter game. Flash forwards, double axe comes down. Raid is going to die here. No exchange on Guncrab. Shock TP into the bottom lane. Missed stare down. You know, that random look spine that comes across can be big. All the pillar coming through as well can do the same. Kratos jumping forward for everybody into the bomb right there, into the grinder, and AV chasing down the rest of these kills right here. Raid to back away from Gravitas.
Nowhere to go for AV. Stuck between the cannon.
And this is going to be a Maelstrom onto 4. Absolutely beautiful coming out of Habu. Chippy's the last one remaining. Double kill out for Hayri and the AV now pushing him underneath the base. Hayri almost gets one shot right there, focusing onto the turrets. And this is the last bastion of hope here for Gravitas. Pabu goes into the backline onto 3, but the damage isn't there for the rest of the team, and Hayri gets cut down. And Avant move on to the Nexus and will finish it off. AV take.
How about 4998?
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Right now, you can pick up our classic large fries for just $1.
Welcome back to the Oceanic Painting League. Jake.
I'm hosting.